Hey, everybody. How is it going tonight? We're trying out something here. Me and my good friend Dirty Invincible, otherwise known as Jason, uh, are playing a game called Starforged. It's a sci fi version of a fantasy tabletop role playing game called IronSworn. Both of them are by Sean Tompkin. It uses a kind of a move system to resolve or generate conflict mechanically, and uses oracles to randomize a bunch of different parts of the world and the game. Um, and an action roll system determines success or failure on kind of a rough scale. Um, to make an action roll, you roll a d6 and two d10s. Then you add your stat and any modifiers to the d6 and compare it against the d10s. Beating both d10s is a strong hit. Only beating a single d10 is a weak hit, and beating neither of the d10s is a miss. And aside from those like mechanics, the game is mostly just kind of made up on the spot. It becomes this kind of tabletop role playing Mad Libs, where everyone's kind of the game master and helping move things along. So really, it's a cooperative game here with Jason and I both sharing, the duty of generating content for playing through. Um, we start playing this game because a good friend of mine, Adland, introduced me to Starforged a while back, and just we hadn't gotten around to playing. And finally, he got a game started up, and it was really fun. And I knew that I really wanted to play a game with my buddy Jason because he and I both are on the same wavelength. And this kind of game, really, I think both of us working together, it's very very strong combination for this kind of game. Makes it very fun. So far it's been very fun. We've gotten through. I think this is actually session number 2, but we also had a session 0 where we built up a lot of stuff. Maybe 2 session zeros. Do we have 2 session zeros, Jason?
Yeah, we did have two session zeros. And then I believe last week was our first like real session getting into the game.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we're on session 2 right now. So we're a little ways into this already, but each session will start out with a recap and some little side vignettes to kind of get things going. Um, so you get caught up with where we're at here once we get the game going. um, Real quick, our game, because every tabletop RPG you play, whether it's Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder or whatever, even if it's set in a world that exists or a campaign that exists or pre-existing campaign, it's all kind of in its own space. And so our game is called Tales from the Blood Rift. It's a game about essentially a newly minted friendship between two space mercenaries. As they both kind of try to make their way in the Forge, which is a new part of space that humanity was kind of forced to after a great cataclysmic war. It's very think Trigon, think Firefly, think even a little Star Warsy. It's going to be space fantasy sci-fi game. Current story takes place inside of a sector called the Bloody Rift, hence the name Tales from the Bloody Rift. So it's named for this massive black hole in the sector that has this crimson blood-like aura that is easily visible from all corners of the sector. So anywhere you are in the sector, you can see this thing, and it makes it very obvious why this sector is called the Bloody Rift. So yeah, so we're going to be at least in the interim here, we're going to be mixing it up with some fixers, some bounty hunters, and megacorps and cults and all kinds of other spacers while we try to make our way through the Bloody Rift here. um as far as the game goes, we are going to be playing I believe roughly 3 weeks on, 1 week off. It really depends. We'll see how it goes, and we may not stream past this point. We'll see how things are, but um, we are at the very least going to have a break next week, and then we'll be back for our second episode. Right? I guess I should have asked Jason first, but 22nd, does the 22nd work for you?
Uh, yes.
Sweet. So yeah, we'll be back on the 22nd with another episode here, and then we'll see how things go from there. And we'll try to get a schedule up if we're going to keep this going and whatnot. Um, so with all of that out of the way, um, I let me bring up Jason here. Oh, and there he is. Jason does not use a camera right now. We're working stuff out. We'll see how things go. So we have his dramatic eyebrow raise icon in his place. Um, so we'll take a moment to introduce our characters real quick. We'll start with me. I'm playing a character, Kayla Khan, goes by the call sign Buzz. Um, she was a kind of a small time thug working on a scrap planet until she made enough, surprisingly, to buy a ship somehow. But she took off and she's been on her own since, trying out the space mercenary lifestyle for a little while here. Her ship's a freighter, so she can do all kinds of things, smuggling and fighting and transport and all that stuff. So she's been getting by doing odd jobs as things go, and eventually found herself hooked up with a fixer that put her together with another space mercenary, and they've been kind of going around and doing stuff together, getting a little bit more comfortable with each other. Just a couple of dudes doing jobs together. Well, I guess a lady and a dude doing jobs together. Um, Sorry, I guess I should talk about things. So, Kayla's an ace pilot, a scoundrel, and a gunslinger. She carries two laser pistols with her wherever she goes. She's she's a talker. She's a little fiery temper, and she uh, doesn't take shit from people for the most part. She's essentially a female Han Solo, and that's Kayla. Well, she also has the her ship is sorry that she has the ship. Her ship is called the Mercy. It's kind of a beat up looking freighter thing, but it has some like organic parts on it that we're not too sure about. You got to feed it occasionally and whatnot. So with that, I think Jason will introduce Sage.
Um, my character is Sage. He called himself Sage the Savage or Savage Sage. Either one works. Kind of interchangeable. Um, he's from one of five clans, and if for those unfamiliar with Ironforge or the Starforged truths, you roll to determine what your game universe looks like, and like what your setting looks like, different aspects of it. And so, in one of the truths that we rolled was that the was it the Forge was founded by five clans. And so, my guy is one of those a warrior descendant from one of those five clans. And their planet was blown up, and so he's been running around the forge trying to find, just trying to get by as a hired sword, as a grunt worker, just doing odd jobs, and is trying to find other members of his clan, and just ran into Kayla on a job and stuck around because she has a ship and he doesn't hate her. Um,
I feel like Kayla and Sage have that kind of like I don't know, from my perspective, I feel like it's probably a little bit of an odd couple kind of scenario where it's like you don't expect them to necessarily get along. He's a big, quiet, stoic guy, right? And she's a
right, right.
loudmouth, like, you know, but like
Well, he's a bit also personality wise a lot like Drax or Goku. So just
aloof.
very aloof, very straightforward, very literal about things at times. Doesn't really try to think things through too much because he doesn't really need to. He's got a big sword that does all the thinking for him. Um, yeah,
All right. All right. So, with character introductions out of the way, we will get the game rolling. We start every game with a session move called Begin a Session. In that, we will identify our adjust flag content, which we don't necessarily need to cover right now, but it's a safety system. Jason and I are both very good friends. We have a very good understanding of what is and isn't okay in our game, but if you're playing with other people or even if you're playing by yourself, it's always a good idea to set flags for content that you want to avoid. It helps you kind of just put a stake in the ground and avoid traumatizing yourself or others. So we don't need to do that, but we will do a recap of what happened last session. Then we'll set the scene, the current scene, and we'll also have some little side scenes or vignettes that we do to kind of give a little bit more to the backstory of the world we're creating here. So Jason is going to do the recap for us here.
yeah. Last time on Tales from the Bloody Rift, um, both Sage and Kayla had traveled to a terraforming colony known as Sagan to do work that their fixer had fixed them up with, yet another fixer by the name of Stimmy. And so we went there and negotiated terms for the job. Um, and she gave us information to meet a contact on another station in the same sector known as Eris. So we made our way to Eris, uh, trying to sneak our way on board as we had found on our way approaching to the station that due to some of our previous activities, we may have attracted some unwanted attention by bounty hunters.
We might be space
So
criminals.
we might be space criminals. So we try to sneak through security, but unfortunately, my cloak, which happens to be a symbiote named Tim, sneezed and kind of gave us away. So
I
we
forgot it
ended
was
up
Tim.
bribing. Yeah, we ended up bribing the guard, who just happens to be very susceptible to bribe. Um, we tried to make him a contact, though that did not work out too well. So we just proceeded to meet up with our contact that we went to Eris to begin with. Uh, they were a no-show, so we got in contact. We head back to our ship, try and contact Stimmy, and she tells us to go look for our contact at her apartment. So we make our way there. The contact's name is Maria, and upon arriving at Maria's apartment, we find that Maria's dead. And as we're about to make our way out of the said apartment, uh, a member from the what's that faction
The
called?
Department of Justice. Oh,
Well,
no. Firebird Corp. Firebird.
Fire Bionics, yeah, Firebird
Firebird Bionics.
Bionics, yeah. So he's a security uh, management uh,
Like
dude,
middle management, dude.
yeah, who's kind of running this team of bounty hunters that are from a separate group called the Department of Justice. I think of Judge Dredd, and we suspect that they killed her, but we don't quite know.
They
But
certainly
they
ambushed us
stop.
there.
yeah, but they were right there right away, ready to stop us. So um, they tried to frame us for her murder, and in doing so, are trying to get us to double cross Stimmy, our previous contact from Sagan, and wants us to get information about their terraforming supplies. So, and that's then we try to make our way back to Sagan to go steal the info. And on our way out of Eris, we ran into some kind of gravitational anomaly, and uh, luckily, Kayla was able to um, succeed at getting us out of it, but at the cost of some of our supplies.
Some good old fashioned space danger.
And that brings us to today.
So the scene I want to start with, and we talked about this briefly, but the scene I would like to start with is us uh, in the Mercy on our way. We had just gotten out of the gravitational anomaly. Uh, Kayla, in her mind, is she wants she's not sure how she feels about double crossing Stimmy just yet because we were sent to Stimmy by our other fixer who was kind of a friend, Kayla. So she kind of trusts Stimmy a little bit more than this random guy that tried to hold us up. So she's going to want to talk about what our next steps are because we have two quests right now that are kind of opposing forces. One to steal something from Firebird Bionics, another to steal something from the people that want to steal something from Firebird Bionics. And either way is going to involve crossing one of those factions. So she's going to want to talk about that. So I think when we open up, after we get through our other scenes here, when we open up, I think we should start there on the ship, kind of in that mind space, or headset, mindset. Um, are you ready to do did you have your vignette all queued up, or you need a little bit of time here?
Yeah, I can go.
Okay. I
Okay,
will let you go.
so we're gonna start with a just normal 3-to-1 oil to vinegar ratio. Take a fourth cup of either red or white wine or balsamic. Uh, add 3 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. Uh, 1 small garlic clove. Try to mince that up. Add a little bit of kosher salt. Joe hasn't stopped me yet. I'm actually
Are you are you doing something ridiculous? I assume that it was all part of something.
no.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was assuming you were going real deep here on the role
I
playing.
was
It was
I was giving up my vinaigrette,
oh, your vinaigrette. No, I don't do puns. Macron does
but
not do puns.
it
Not a
is
pun
pun
guy.
day. It is pun day.
Oh my god, it's Thursday pun day. Where's Kelly? No one tell Kelly about this.
Okay. On to something a little
Now
more
that you're done
serious.
with your vinaigrette, how about a vignette?
Okay, so I don't know if I can go now because I'm too giggly.
It'll be a giggly one. It'll be okay.
Oh, okay. All right, so um, we're gonna flash back to a scene. Um, we're on what looks like an alien world. There's a field of bluegrass just stretching across the horizon, and it meets a sunset of purple and orange hues. As the night sets, a pack of small animals gathers into their nest, protected by a thorny thicket. Fortunately, that thicket was not enough protection, for a glowing phosphorescent limb reaches in to their sanctuary and plucks them from their home. Uh, cut to the next scene, and the whole pack is gathered into a cold, clean, metallic lab where the glowing beings are injecting various mixtures into the members of their pack. In the background, you see many other members of their species of other packs suspended in tanks of different colors.
and thus we learn more of the backstory of Tim's people.
Yes.
Very nice. Very, very nice. For me, I want to touch on the gentleman from Firebird Bionics that stopped us was Yukon Barrick. And in character, we know nothing about his background. He kind of just showed up and gave us dictated his terms. Happened to have guns on us, so we accepted them at the time. But we cut to Barrick talking to one of the Department of Justice bounty hunters, and he's like, I mean, if you were setting them up, why would you let them go? And Barrick kind of scoffs and says, the setup was just to get them to do what I needed them to do. Like the setup wasn't. No one cares about this woman. He's kind of very callous about how he talks about people. And this person that they just killed is not someone that he cares about. So he's very he brushes her aside um, as a non-issue. Her death is a non-issue, and he says, "Look, I've got my boss breathing down my neck, to get a solid footing under these cultist assholes." And that means that we need some of their resources. We need some of their information on what they're doing. And so this is one step towards getting access to those. I can't do that directly myself. What would it look like for the company? So we get a couple of stoolies. We put, we get them on some, bunk charges, and we, get them to do the work for us. Same outcome, but our hands are clean in this case. We have no reason to know these people. It kind of just fades out from there. Just a little, a little taste of the motivation that Yukon Barrick has in getting us instead of just handling this on his own.
Very good. And for those watching at home, when we do the session moves during the beginning session, um, one of the reasons why you do this is that you gain one momentum. So both of us we gain momentum for
Oh,
our little
very nice.
flashbacks.
And let me switch over to transition to dun 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 our fancy desktop that shows our dashboards and stuff. I believe I did not gain that momentum yet. Yeah, so I'm up to +8. I'm getting somewhere with my momentum finally.
Did
Okay.
that register mine updating?
Yeah, I see it. Oh, I don't see it on the other thing though. Let me check to see.
Yeah, on the stream it says force. I was like, huh? What?
Oh, there it goes. Oh, I might have to. I don't know. Like it seemed to update okay on other things, but I'll check. I'll keep an eye on it.
Oh, I just saw a bunch of our progress go up too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So for those that caught that at home, you'll notice that we have a few things that are labeled connections and some vows. As we progress through the storylines and meet some of our goals, we will mark those off as progress towards those various connections and vows. And that's what you see there, little stars that just filled up. Some of those things are more difficult to progress than others, which is denoted by that little circle on the top of that little data card. Um, and so that tells you how many of those boxes you fill for each time you make progress. Yeah, that's the gist of it.
Thank you very much, sir. Just writing out some notes real quick. Okay. So, um, we are on board the Mercy. We have just shit our pants, escaping from a gravitational anomaly. Um, a little less fuel, but no, not really much worse for the wear. Um, the kind of gravity of what we've been told we have to do is kind of settling in on Kayla, and Kayla is starts to think about what it is, like what the way forward here is. And so she turns in her pilot seat to Sage and she says, "You're not one to bullshit me. What should we do here?"
Um, I like Stimmy.
I also like Stimmy, so I mean, obviously that
Stimmy's
means
not trying to frame us for shit. So
I think that's a good point.
yet,
I think we
exactly.
have we have potentially more history with Stimmy. Even though we've only just met her, but we know her through other people, so maybe there's other connections. So I am 100% on board with not double crossing Stimmy. My concern now though is that maybe they did something to our ship while he kind of had us there at gunpoint. At the very least, I assume they're tracking us some way. They're trying to. But also,
Well,
uh,
he said that straight out, didn't he?
oh, did he? Yeah. Okay,
Or
then
maybe that
yes.
was I can't remember.
Implied or otherwise, I assume, it's an assumption Kayla would make. Uh, but and also, he's threatening to frame us for this murder. I think, you know, I don't care too much about Firebird Bionics, but if we get the Department of Justice on us, that'll be kind of a pain in the ass. So uh, I think obviously we don't double cross Stimmy here. Do we talk to Stimmy about this? Do we let Stimmy in on what's going on, or do we just keep it a secret and try to come up with another plan for getting the information that Stimmy needs?
I I think we see where this goes and who is who's to trust the more. Yeah, who's more trustworthy?
I'm like,
I
well, I mean, we're on our way back to
is
Sagan right now. Do we want to? Are we going to? So should we? Should we check? Should we try to test Stimmy? Should we try to see like what?
we tell
Like,
her Maria is dead,
yeah, just
and we got out,
we don't
and
we don't say what happened exactly, other than we just found her dead and we left.
yeah,
We leave it vague right now.
yeah,
So we'll basically say, okay, so we we showed up at the apartment you told us to go to. She's there. She's dead. We what the fucked out of there. Stepped away. Decided to come back and talk and try to work out another way around this. If there is another way. I mean, I don't know if Maria was her only contact, but uh, you know, it seemed like we needed Maria because Maria had some access to information that we needed, but maybe there's other people. And then we just kind of leave it at that and let Stimmy help work that out. Thanks,
yeah.
Sage. I
I'm
appreciate these
gonna
talks.
I'm gonna roll the Oracle.
Okay.
Just see how likely it was that Sage would have even have given that bit of wisdom.
Oh, I
Or is that overkill? Too much
no,
roll?
no. I think that's overkill because I think that makes sense for Sage.
Because he has a
Like
wits of one. Is he gonna?
no, no, but I mean, but I think fundamentally though that kind of that's like a more that's kind of like an experience thing, And I feel like
But
if it
going
was
back to the whole like
if we were trying to find the right way, I think that's
it's
something you roll
Remy's
for. But
context.
yeah,
So yeah, like you said, we've got history.
I feel like it's not. I feel like
That,
that's
if
not a huge
anything,
leap,
has more in favor towards Stimmy than uh, you know, guy who's trying to frame us for murder.
right?
So yeah, so she's already got like 2 points ahead of him because he's got at this point a -1, and she's got a +1 just because of Remy.
Okay, so we're in agreement. We're gonna go talk to Stimmy. So we finish up the little bit of travel we were doing there. Already on our way to Sega. I mean, the ship was already piloting itself there. Kayla doesn't have to do much to do something this simple. So we were talking while we were on the last leg of the trip there. Um, we get docked. We get out of the ship. I think we haven't said anything yet to Stimmy. We haven't sent a message or anything like that. So she's probably waiting kind of slightly anxiously, given the last communication we had about her contact being missing. But I don't think she'll be like waiting for us. I think she'll be back at her place still, waiting for us to check in. So we make our way over to Stimmy's bar.
Stimmy says hello.
She waves us into a corner. Come,
I
sit.
probably looks very eager and anxious, I assume. Given
So
that
she
being
she'll
incommunicado.
yeah. Yeah, especially because we told her that her person was missing last. So I think she'd probably be really anxious. She'd be maybe not that she'd be showing it immediately, but the way she's talking to us would be very gruff, very quick. So what happened? Did you find Maria? And Kayla goes, well, we found Maria, but not alive. And she goes into detail what happened, sans what happened immediately after we found her, and then kind of puts it off to the side and is like, well, you know, so that happened. She's dead. Or I assume she's dead. I mean, there's someone dead at Maria's apartment. Um, who else has this information? Like, who else can we? Do you have other contacts? What's our way around this, Stimmy?
And what is it that we're getting for you that has attracted someone's death?
Yeah, because we were kind of told this was just some data theft, but I mean, they're protecting it pretty partially if it's just data theft. I didn't think too hard when you wanted someone a little bit more advanced for this kind of theft, but not not to look the double dollars you're putting down on the table in the mouth, but I'm a little curious now because of the danger we found ourselves in.
Do we try a compel move?
Oh man, yeah. So maybe we try to compel Stimmy to share more with us and see how that goes. Let's do that. Is this so I'll do it with my strong wits. What's that? Oh, compel. Here we go. Oh man. Are we trying to lie here? Is this a
Are you trying to figure out if it's shadow, heart, or iron?
Yeah, so I don't think it's iron. I don't think we're not really threatening. We might I mean some of this might be a little aggressive here, but this isn't going to be a
I mean, I was coming at it pretty aggressive. I feel,
you were? Okay.
but
So I mean, because like I feel like this is also kind of like we're kind of encouraging her to open up a bit. We're not telling the truth, but we're not telling the truth as the main motive here. The main motive here is
I mean, I will. I think Sage's thing is more likely to maybe not threaten right away, but wait for your signal if you need me to
okay.
threaten.
So
I
let's
think that's
say
kind of how it would, how that
let's
would.
Kayla's gonna start with her like the little kind of nonsense bullshit threat, kind of like just like, hey, you need to give us some information here if you want some help from us. Kind of not threat so much as just you know just laying it out on the table there. So Kayla says her piece there, and uh basically, yeah. So we're trying to get Stimmy to divulge more information about what's going on to us, so that we can piece together on our own what is going on altogether, and maybe if we trust her enough, we'll let her in on what happened to us on the station outside of running into what's her name. So, all right, so I'll start with a heart uh, compel roll, and I have no bonuses to that because like we are lying, but again, I don't think we're lying as a. I think what we're trying to do is get her to open up to us, not through lies. We're just omitting the truth. So I can't use my scoundrel doesn't count. So okay, so we're just doing a straight up heart roll. Hey,
Okay.
okay, that's doable. A weak hit. So they'll do what you want or agree to your conditions, but their agreement comes with a demand or a complication. Envision their counteroffer and take +1 momentum. So I
I
think.
think.
Oh, good.
Oh, I was gonna say. I think. Yeah, she tells us what it is, and then maybe we, like you had mentioned, like we tell her what happened with Yukon.
Maybe she gives us some information and then she says, "And I'll tell you more, but first you have to tell me what really happened on the space station." Do you think she would? Do you think she's smart enough to know that more than just us running across a dead body happened?
I'd say so, given the all the complications that have happened.
Here,
So
let's oracle that one.
we're gonna fate move.
Where is that? Is it no? Is that Where's the like? There's like the regular oracle
Yeah,
roll.
yeah, like how likely something is.
Yeah.
It's
Which
under
one?
a fate.
It's under fate. Okay.
Fate moves. Yeah.
Ask the oracle. Okay. So I'm gonna say based on who she is in the star system, it's very likely she realizes that something more happened. So I'm gonna say we're gonna start with a likely roll and
Yeah.
say, okay, Oracle, does uh does Stimmy know that we? Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
So I mean, she doesn't know exactly what happened, but she knows that something went down outside of what happened there. So she's gonna come to us and she's gonna turn around to what Kayla said and say, maybe she'll come out right out and just let us know, uh, I'm an independent fixer. I don't work directly for anyone, but I do take work from some larger clients. And one of those clients isn't we were stealing stuff for the religious faction, weren't we?
Sagan Free Society.
For the Sagan Free Society. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. So one of those factions
Like
is the
the
Sagan Free
mobs. Yeah.
Society, and she explains, here on Sagan, uh, there is a group that runs the settlement. They're seeking to create a free and independent uh, uh, planetary organization. They want to uh, terraform the planet that is right below us, Cerberus. Um, so they want to terraform Cerberus. In order to do that, they have access to raw supplies to do the terraforming, but terraforming is kind of a complex process, and you need you need something guiding that process. And Firebird Bionics is a major uh, organization in the terraforming space, and they have a lot of technology centered around terraforming. So the Sagan Free Society needs this information. That's what we were sending you to steal. She says, whoever was trying to stop you was probably Firebird Bionics. I wouldn't doubt if they had some help from the Department of Justice. Kayla kind of raises her eyebrow at that. And she says, if you tell me what really happened, maybe I can help you. And maybe, just maybe, we can come to an amicable conclusion of this business deal without hating each other. That'd be great, right?
Okay. So yeah, how much do we want to tell her about, like, everything there?
Cards on the table. I think, you know, I mean, meta wise, we know she gave us good information about what was going on. We don't know anything about the people here, really, other than what we've heard after coming here, and we've only been here for a little tiny bit. So, I mean, I don't know 100% whether to trust her, but like you said earlier, I kind of I trust you. I definitely uh, uh, trust her more than I trust the other guy, your Barrick, Yukon Barrick. So I don't think we have anything to gain by holding anything else back. If she's going to help us out,
Okay. Yeah.
so I think we tell her everything as we saw it happen, um, and don't leave and not leaving anything out, like not leaving anything that we noticed out, because I don't think it really benefits us to hold on to information about this one, especially if we are going to go the route of helping Stimmy over Yukon. So, do you think her and Yukon have a history? Maybe.
I don't know. That'd be interesting if that was the case.
You want to do a an oracle roll for that one? See
How
what
likely?
how how likely is it that they have? So I think it's very likely they have at least heard of each other. They live in the same sector, and there's not a huge number of people in the sector, and they're both kind of power players, I guess, to some degree. But I think it's probably a 50-50 that they actually like
I,
know each other,
yeah,
right?
I was about to say 50-50. Yeah.
Right? Like I think that
Know
makes
of
sense.
each other? Know of each other likely.
Yeah,
Know each other, yeah, 50-50.
50-50.
Let me do that one.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Give us that sweet sweet roll sauce.
Yes, they
There
know
you
each
go.
other. They do have a past history.
So
What kind of history is that?
I feel like Stimmy. Oh, okay. So there we go.
Is it
Okay,
a
so
romantic one? Is it a professional one? How does that play out?
what is the is it goal? Is that where
Sure.
okay, they met running separate trade groups. So before security, Yukon was part of the trade organization for Firebird Bionics. And of course, Stimmy does all kinds of things beyond just being a fixer, but handles a lot of trade
Yeah, she
related
runs
to Sagan.
the bar or cantina, tavern, whatever we want to call it.
So I think
10 forward.
she met him, as he was on the rise, in that corporate, greed kind of thing going on, where he's just losing the last little bit of himself and succumbing to uh, being this total asshole who only cares about going up the ladder.
Okay.
And so Stimmy has a stick up her ass about him, rightfully so. Not like an unjust one, but so they, they had some kind of
Stiffed around like a major deal or something.
yeah. I don't nothing personal. It had to be something business related,
Yeah.
and just showed how big of an asshole that Yukon Barrack is, and how willing he is to just roll over anyone to get what he needs to move up. Um, yeah. So Stimmy's gonna her reaction to us telling her that she's not gonna really like react too hard, but she will basically say, I think at the end after we describe what happened, she goes, "Well, I'm not surprised it's that Yukon asshole, but this sounds about like Firebird Bionics 101 here. Shady organization, top to bottom."
Does that help us cement more of this connection with the contact?
I think so. I think this is a. I think this counts as a. I feel like because we didn't disavow our iron vow, but we set ourselves up for some problems, that we had ourselves what's it called? Where is it at? We tested our relationship.
Yep.
So let's see how this goes. I'm gonna roll, and we'll see where we're at with this, basically, with Stimmy. All right. Jesus. Okay. On a weak hit, we develop our relationship, but we also envision a demand or a complication as a fallout of this test. I think the test here for our relationship is obviously someone tried to get us to double cross her, Stimmy. Um, and we didn't immediately, like, we came to her pretty directly, but we didn't immediately just give her all the information. We made her drag it out of us, essentially. And she kind of gets that, we don't have that relationship yet, but she also doesn't have time for our bullshit. So maybe she needs us to do. So now that we don't have a contact that can just point to where it is, maybe now we need to do a preliminary thing, a preliminary gig. What would we have to do to get this kind of information? Maybe what if Maria uh, was kind of part of a group of people who were working for Firebird, but were also kind of uh, like they weren't exactly happy with what Firebird was doing, and they were kind of like they felt like they might need to stick it to the man a little bit or something like that, like or do something kind of to take Firebird down a peg or something. And so they kind of all agree to kind of start helping outside organizations against Firebird, and that's how Stimmy met Maria, was through the small group of people. And Maria was the most likely to have the information, but maybe there's other people in this group that we can meet up with or find that
Okay. Yeah.
that also have this information. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So on the weak hit, we still develop our relationship, and
Yes.
looking at that move, it looks like we just mark it unless there's a shared bond.
Yeah, we just mark it. So I'll hit the advance. I'll hit mark progress. Moving on up.
Doo-doo-doo.
Oh man, yeah, it is not updating. I gotta figure out what that. There we go. Oh, it doesn't do the animations until I have the a page open. I just gotta open the page every once in a while. I have it sitting in the background. Let's see. Where was that? There it is right there. Okay. All right. So, I feel like these people, since Timmy knew where Maria was, I feel like these people are all like idealistically pure, but have no common sense when it comes to OPSEC. So I feel like Stimmy would know where everyone that she has met from this group lives and could send us directly to some more people. I think she would also be very straightforward about the fact that, hey, maybe it might be a little tough getting some of this information from people. We might have to be a little aggressive about it. And she looks at Sage with his weird talking chest piece and giant sword and says, maybe you just have to show up and be a little scary as you are.
Sage is oblivious to it, just looking around.
Does he just like kind of like, ha ha ha, yes, of course, yes, that thing you said. Um, okay, so I think we kind of wrap that up with Stimmy giving. I think Stimmy would be like, start here. I don't want to burn through all my contacts yet. If we have trouble with this one, get you know, if we have trouble with this one, let me know, and we'll work our way down the list from there. She doesn't want to give us the whole list of names. So let's see, who does she give us? Let me bring up the name generator. The first person she gives us, Ezra Winter. Damn it, that's a cool name. Maybe we should save that for something else. Seek out Ezra. What can you do I mean, these people are all Firebird employees, so they're all going to be on Eris, I assume. Which, oh man, we have to think about that again now. Hey, buddy, before we go, what are we going to do to get inside Eris again? Considering the fact that they have our faces, we've bribed one of the guards, and you have a hard time getting through without Tim laughing. So you're not stealthy at all, right? Like, I mean, you got the one shadow too. I've got the one shadow. We're not. We are both on that same boat there. But
Convincing them to meet at some other location. Was the planet below? Is that completely inhospitable? I can't remember. Or
they're
is it just
over
devoid
a
of life?
no. They're on a gas giant.
That's
Uh
Eris, but I'm talking about Cerberus. Like, what if they
oh
come to Cerberus?
oh.
Right?
That's a
We
good
can all go down
idea.
to Cerberus and
Cerberus,
meet
I
on
think, is just a rocky planet. It's just a barren rocky planet. So I think let me double check. It's a grave world that's toxic. So we probably could. They just need to be in
suited up.
safety equipment. But I think there are so there's no settlements necessarily, but I think there's like I feel like there's like some planet side like stations that aren't necessarily always like what do you call it? Aren't necessarily always um, inhabited.
Like a yeah, just like a scientific station or something,
There's
or
like
like
a
a ranger station in the woods, but this whatever the equivalent would be.
maybe there's like a there's like a planet side lab, but it has like what do you call it? Like a oh what's that called? Like a guest station or something like that. Like a what's that called? Where you have like a tourist information center at a like
Visitor center.
a visitor center. It's got like a visitor center. So there's like a whole public wing to this laboratory that's mostly sealed off because no one's in it right now. But you can get into it pretty easy, and no one we know that no one monitors it because it's the Free State guys,
Yeah, they are pretty against that kind of stuff. I mean,
right?
if anyone was monitoring it, it'd be them, like
It'd probably be
the top
Stimmy,
or that. Yeah,
which to
yeah.
me,
I mean, let's see if we can get that contact to come to us on Sagan or
okay.
Cerberus,
So let's make I'm gonna
or even deep space. Like, it doesn't have to be Cerberus. It could be deep space. Use close comms.
oh that's a good point.
Ships can dock to each other, maybe. Docking maneuvers.
Okay,
I don't know.
let's so do we so let are we just gonna make a connection here and then sort it out from there?
We didn't have Maria as a connection.
We didn't. We tried to though. Remember? That's why she's dead.
Oh, okay.
We missed. I think on that on the. I think hers was the miss.
Yeah.
Um. So I feel like. Well, I feel like if Stimmy has talked to these people, there is a way to reach out to them. If she knows where they live, there's a way to reach out to them. Um. So I think getting them a message isn't the hard part. I think the question is whether or not they would actually respond or show up.
Yeah.
So I think maybe we send our message and we kind of like ask them to send something to acknowledge, and then we roll a oracle to see if they acknowledge us at all. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Oh, let me make some adjustments here. Okay. Okay, so we are going to reach out, and then we will do a. So we'll do Oracle. How likely do we think this is that Ezra is going to respond here?
Good question. Because
So I feel like
do they know that? How likely do they know Maria is dead?
so it's been like
Do they know Maria?
It
And
happened today. I assume that they know Maria because they're all kind of part of this group.
yeah, I mean that's what I
Um,
assume.
so, but it happened today, so it's possible they don't know it yet, or they hadn't heard the news.
So 50-50 maybe.
I would say a 50-50 whether or not they know. So I'm gonna roll a 50-50 to see whether or not Ezra knows about Maria.
Because I was gonna say if they know about Maria, they're less likely to respawn, probably because they're
I
skittish
I
or
think
or something.
yeah.
And that mean okay, so they they do know that Maria is dead, so unlikely to respawn. You want me to roll that?
I think unlikely. Go ahead and roll unlikely. Let's see what. Oh, they still respond though. Nice.
Cool beans.
So we send
Clearly, they're skittish though, and very spooked when they do respond.
yeah. So it's like maybe it's we ask them just to leave a message at a Dropbox or something like that, and it's like a voice message, and you can tell that they are not. They're a little scared about someone wanting to meet them out of the blue now. Though I would, we definitely identify ourselves as friends of Stimmy, right?
Yeah,
I think to, I mean, if she's our gateway into talking to these people, then
yeah.
that's the way it be.
Or whatever Stimmy's code name is to these people, I'm sure she would have given it to us or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like Stimmy's one of those people that can operate out in the open for most part. Everything's kind of under the covers, but she's a kind of a public figure in the area, right?
See, I was
Because
thinking a lot like Stellan Skarsgård's character in what do you call it?
Thor: The Dark World.
Oh no, yes, yes, no.
Nymphomaniac.
Andor in Andor.
Oh, I have not seen that yet, so that was not.
Oh, sorry, spoilers.
Spoiler alerts. Thanks.
Huge spoilers. Okay, I'll
Well,
just someone who publicly runs a shop, a legitimate business
yeah,
by day, but is secretly part of this other movement kind of thing.
yeah. So like a businessman in the community, or businesswoman in Stimmy's case in the community, and known by that, but known by other things to other people who have more nefarious business, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but by their handle or
Oh,
whatever their code name is,
so
there's a very like delineation between the public figure and who is like maybe we roll to see how Stimmy handles that. Is she the kind that is all uh, public about her dealings and people she deals with, or does she segregate those different organizations with different identities?
I would say that's a 50-50 because I think she could be either way with it.
Yeah.
So I'll roll that guy. It went in the order you put it out. So,
Okay.
so all right. So let's say
So
that's
the first question I said was, is she above board or is she, you know,
so is she doing everything as herself, or is she trying to do this, or is she do some of this work
so the original
discriminately?
question being, yeah,
So yes, she does. Then, or I'm sorry, no, she she does keep everything separate,
okay.
or not everything separate, but she keeps certain parts of it separate. So there's like those of us that have to deal with her face to face are one thing, but these are probably people that she knows as part of her organizing capacity and stuff. So
Yeah.
this is going to be more of a case of, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting I have to
I'll
make
refresh
that
the
happen.
page.
Yeah,
Make it so.
I have to work it out. I figure out how to get chatbot to refresh the page on its own. Um. So yeah. So while she may be known as a fixer, like a lot of the people that she works with don't necessarily know that they're working directly with her specifically, like because she keeps a low profile for certain things, and this is one of those things, right? So like
And maybe
informants.
that's part of the reason why maybe her and Remy are super tight. That's why Remy knows her as Stimmy,
Okay.
you know, and sent us in person rather than
And instead of
the covert op things.
yeah, yeah.
Now
Okay.
the question then goes: is she using that code name with these people?
I think if she's doing that kind of thing where she's separating out some of her interests, I think these people are low enough on the organizational hierarchy that she doesn't care about them enough to know to really know their or want them to know her who she is necessarily. You know,
So
to
almost certain.
yeah, to I'd say to them, I don't even think we need to roll for it.
Yeah.
I think based on what we know already, based on what we rolled already,
So yeah, we just give them Stimmy's code name. Do we roll for? We have a generator for code name, or
we should. We could get her one of the there's the character oracle name call sign. Let's see what we get with a call sign roll,
okay,
and I will update the page.
Wraith. Oh, that fits. For someone
Stimmy.
who's trying to keep things secret, and
I'm gonna update Stimmy's name. Wraith. All right.
Kupat.
Okay. Dude, yeah, okay. So we get in touch with them and we let them know that we're working with Wraith. And do we are we like so we know meta wise that they know that Maria died. Are we going to be straightforward about this? Like are we going to acknowledge it at all? Or are we just going to pretend like this is a new request for information from these people? And I don't know what happened with Maria.
Are you wait for what purposes?
So talking to Ezra.
Okay.
So when we reach out initially to try to get more information, to try to get them to meet us, are we going to acknowledge that Maria is dead as part of that?
Uh,
Like I wouldn't try to hide it if we meet and we talk to Ezra and they ask about it.
yeah.
I don't know that I
So
would like volunteer that information, but I also it may seem like thinking about it, it may be scarier to hear from someone the day your friend dies asking you for covert information about your company, right?
yeah.
So I would be a little wary about it, but I think I would keep it. I think I would keep any message that I send very generic or general, just trying to get them to meet and let them know that hey, we work for Wraith.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, at some point, we should be doing a resupply move.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. Um, Especially since we're on Sagan.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we do before we leave Stimmy. We're like, hey, we haven't been paid for this job yet. We made it all the way out here. It'd be really nice as if we could get some fuel to help resupply our ship. I don't want to get stuck out in the middle of nowhere. And so I'll make a resupply roll on barter or make an appeal. So I'll roll heart.
Oof. Oh.
Holy crap.
Oh. That That is painful.
I pissed off Stimmy. I asked for too much. I think I did that kind of tongue in cheek, like, hey, we're buddies, so it's cool, right? But we're not really buddies with Stimmy just yet. And
Yeah.
Stimmy did not take that the right way, and kind of in the middle of her club gave me a little, maybe you should try getting the job done first, and then I'll pay you, huh? How about that?
Like one of those like Zorg things, you know, like
And
I
it,
bought
because
4 stones.
because it's
Not 1 or 2 or 3, 4. No stones, no crates. That kind of thing.
that kind of thing where she gets very upset at us for asking ahead of delivering anything to her. So I think this is kind of a low stakes scenario, so it's funny and all, but I think what the match gives us is from here on out to Stimmy, we are cheap people. I think
Oh,
anytime
for
we're
sure.
dealing with Stimmy at this point, past this point, unless we do something to greatly change her attitude towards us, we're cheap assholes that just want her to do everything.
I think it'd be funny if every time, like, we're like, "Hey, can I get paid?"
We have to like
That
ask
didn't
her,
work.
and then she's like, she just like a deep breath, and
Yeah.
oh man. So okay, so we don't resupply. That's the other negative of that. On a miss, we encounter unexpected peril. Yeah, I think paying the price at this point. Yeah, like I said, this is just a little thing. This is not a huge thing. So I think us forever being cheap in Stimia's eyes is enough to really pay the price on that one.
Okay. Um.
Man, Stimmy just
Oof.
we're not getting off on the right foot with Stimmy. Uh,
I guess could just go out and barter with, you know, the gas station or whatever they're,
I am.
what it is. And we're gonna have to. It's the
Oh
thing.
yeah, yeah, that's a good idea. So okay, so we'll just make our way out to the general trade area of Sagan. I'm assuming there's a market and a place where you can pay to for fuel
Yeah.
and stuff. And so I feel like I feel like I feel like I still need just bartering is my best potential shot at this. I feel like if I try try to threaten something out of somebody, that's not going to be not going to end well. I think we've got a little bit of money. We worked some jobs, so it shouldn't be too bad. So I'm just gonna do another resupply roll with heart and get another miss.
But
This
you have
time,
momentum.
yeah, I am gonna burn my momentum for the hell of it because we need to refuel for the we need
Yeah.
to. All right, so I'm gonna burn my momentum. Whoops. All right, so we changed that to a +1 supply. If we are unprepared, clear the impact and take 1 supply. Otherwise, take 2.
You are not prepared.
Yeah, we want the supply, so we'll take the 1 supply. I don't know what the difference is between 1 and 2 here, but we only need the 1, so we'll take the 1 for now and deal with that later.
Yeah. Well, if you are unprepared, well, what?
I mean, it doesn't really matter. We can't take 2 supply anyway, but I'll have to remember. Put a pin in that one. We got to look that one up.
Yeah, I'm curious about it. Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so yeah, so we got the supply. We got fueled back up after a pain in the ass. I mean, like Stimmy just giving us a dressing down, and then you know them almost not having fuel at the market. I don't know. I guess that would be what that is.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay. So we're back at five supply. Uh, we've sent out feelers for the new contacts.
We got well. We already heard back from Ezra that they're going to meet us. Because remember, we weren't sure if she was going to respond or not. And then we succeeded,
Yeah.
or we got a success on the unlikely, which is great.
Um.
So do we want to meet up in deep space, or do we want to try to? I think deep space would probably be better because it wouldn't require any special equipment.
Yeah, I'm wondering if some of the resupply thing, like the move, should we start introducing the quirkiness of the ship at some point?
I think we hold on to that for a little bit, feather in the cap kind of thing, and we circle back because, like I
Maybe
said,
for a repair move, if we have to end up breaking a repair move on the ship.
that or like if we once we get out of the initial quest, that's one of those things I kind of want to set up for being a little storyline for us. So
Okay.
I don't think we've noticed just I mean we've noticed like little things here and there, but nothing that really like stands out as other than the fact that the ship has some bionic parts and needs food occasionally.
Notice, like you notice my cloak that has strange behavior
Things that
sometimes.
we just do not talk about, but we see and we are aware of. Like the cloak that you have that talks to you and that you talk to and seems really weird. Sometimes you're talking to Tim and you just look up and I'm like in the corner or like walking past and just staring at you as I go by. Okay, so we get Ezra to meet up with us at the coordinates we provide. uh,
Oh, did we decide if it's Cerberus or Deep Space or?
I think we should do deep space because I think that's the least problematic.
Yeah.
And if she can access a ships are kind of like autopilot things, so it's not like she needs to be a trained pilot.
Okay.
She would just need to get access to some kind of ship that could reach us. We agree to meet by nearby. Probably would be a good idea. Meet near Eris. Is Eris the station or the? Eris is the station.
Yeah. Erikoth is the gas giant.
So I don't think we need to roll for this. This is going to be just us traveling to. I know we rolled there and back from Eris. Well, I guess we could roll the
Set a
what's it called?
course.
We could set a course. So we're heading to Eris. We're going to drop just outside of Eris.
Who knows? That gravitational anomaly might be there.
All
Strong
right.
hit. We get there. No gravitational anomaly encountered.
Very nice. Fuck that gravitation. Well, I mean, I put it in the computer. We should be avoiding that from now on, obviously. That's
Obviously.
how good of a captain of the ship that I am. I'm the captain now, not just the pilot. I don't know how ships work. I just assume I'm the captain. Okay, so I take 1 momentum, which is nice because I need to start refilling that momentum. All right, and then we get to our destination. The situation there favors us, so I feel like after hitting the gravitational anomaly, leaving Eris that last time, I'm a little bit more cautious of what's around Eris, and we get there pretty nice and easy, and just outside of sensor range. So we're hiding in kind of a dark pocket of space for the station.
Very good. Very good.
What's the likelihood Ezra shows?
Ooh.
I mean, they responded,
Yeah. Uh,
and
likely.
they know Stimmy as a contact at least.
Right.
So it's
Right.
probably someone they're at least a little afraid of. So I think it's likely that they'll show up. All
Oh,
right,
you roll
let's
that one.
see. Yeah, go ahead and roll that
Pew. Yes, they show up.
one. Surprise, surprise, they have shown up. A little dinky, shuttle that could probably barely make it much farther than we are right now from the station uh, shows up on our scanners. We ping them, they ping us. We shake hands. Everyone loves each other. We're cool. Are we going to talk over short range comms? Is that how we're going to make this work?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you want to play Ezra? Do you want to have a back and forth with Ezra? We have
Yeah.
literally this much information about Ezra: a name, and I've been calling Ezra her. That's all we know right now. So you can make up whatever you want.
Okay. Um. Give me some like
Do
old
you want
person
do you,
vibes here.
old what?
Old person vibes here.
Some old person vibes? Oh, okay. So I feel like Maria was like more like a younger person,
Yeah.
but this is going to be someone who's a little older, who's got maybe a lower level position, but a little higher up in the organization. So like a secretary or something like that for someone important.
Of Phoenix. Phoenix's secretary.
We got Phoenix as secretary right off the bat. For those
Do we want to roll
listening,
for that?
real quick, uh, Phoenix Bionics, the company, is run by a gentleman named Phoenix, who is, we believe, some kind of alien. No one knows that in game. This is just all stuff that we made up as part of the starting game. But so Phoenix is the highest, the top guy in that organization. So that's what's kind of funny about that. But I think we roll for that. I think I think at this point anything is possible, and I think there's a 50-50 shot that this person is the secretary for Phoenix. I think if not, we're talking about like someone who is an aide or a secretary for someone else that's like a director or a VP or something like that. You want me to roll that?
Yeah.
All right. Nope, not Phoenix. We
Not.
not we're not that close just yet. So yeah, let's then say that Ezra is just the is like a an operational assistant for someone who's kind of higher up in the organization. And maybe that's why Ezra is okay kind of going like it's kind of silently working against the corp by providing information to outside sources because she's seen things. She doesn't like what she's seen. So maybe that's her motivation. There is maybe she's cautious about us because Wraith is kind of scary to her.
So that gives me more like that um, from Breaking Bad, Lydia, whatever her last name is,
Which one's Lydia?
the one that works for Gus and the German company.
Oh yeah. That's no, and that's kind of. I feel like that's kind of that is the kind of vibe, right?
Yeah,
So like just cautiously stepping out and trying to get realizing you're wrapped up in something bad and trying to get some help.
yeah. Like I'm obviously the characters are different. Like
Yeah.
Lydia is bad, is
Yeah.
trying to use her company's things to do bad stuff. In this case, it's the opposite. And but yeah,
It's like the other way
but still
around.
has that like same like skittish like
Yeah, totally. Someone
I'm gonna
who's
get caught like any second kind of
someone who's
paranoid.
yeah not even sure that the people us that she's coming to meet, like maybe we work for Phoenix and they found her out and she this is just
Yeah,
us dragging her out to kill her, you know. And so she's very worried, I think, about who we might be, about what we need from her, and about whether or not she's going to get caught by her people.
yeah. Okay, she.
So I think so yeah,
You know,
we
Wraith.
get into range, and Kayla will go ahead and send out the first message and just be like, Wraith says hi, we need some help.
Who is Wraith? She
I think you
says.
mutual friend. I'm fairly certain we both know her.
Prove it.
Uh, crap. What would she
Prove
get?
it. She says. In
What
her
would
older woman voice.
what would Stimmy have given us to? Do you think they have like a password or something like that they use? Like Stimmy would be smart about
Yeah.
OPSEC. These people might
Yes.
not be, but Stimmy would probably give them just enough to keep her ass covered, right?
100%. Yeah.
So I use the passphrase. I say, Stimmy said to just keep it cool.
Okay, you're cool then. She probably opens up a little more. So what is we're trying to get the information, terraforming information from her. So do we want to roll like gather information?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Because this is an investigation, and so uh, we don't directly have uh, we don't directly know what we where we need what we need is or anything like that. We just know a very specific thing about how to find what it is, and we need her help to find it. Right. So gather information would be like us kind of talking to her about a little back and forth where we're trying to get her help in identifying where this might be. Uh, and okay, so let me do a gather information here real quick. It's gonna be under adventure. I'm basically going to kind of for Ezra, I'm going to say I'm going to explain there's this information, and we haven't said anything directly about Maria yet, so I'm going to stay away from talking about Maria at all. But we're just
Yeah.
going to say Wraith said that you could help us get this info. You could help us find this information so that we can come get it. You don't have to touch the information. You don't have to do anything. I'm giving a little like reassurance here while we're talking, and I'm just like, you don't have to do anything other than just point, and we will take care of the rest. No one will know that you talked to us. No one will know that you know that you're the reason why we knew where to look. This will all just be a once we get the information, it's all done, and they're coming after us, and they don't know they don't have any context as to who might be helping them from the inside or anything like that, or whether there's anyone helping from the inside. So I'm gonna roll. And I'm not lying, bluffing, stealing, or cheating, so I can't. I still can't add my scoundrel bonus. I gotta lie more so that I get my scoundrel bonus more often, because it hurts. That +2 is really good, but not being able to roll a +2 here. All right, let's
Nice.
see. Yeah, strong hit. So I feel like I was just reassuring Ezra and just making it seem like we need shady information and we definitely need her help, but there's nothing that she can give us that would really implicate her. There's other people that know this information, and there's no real like trail back to her about this. So, once we steal this, the company's going to be looking for us, not for anyone else, right?
Yeah.
And she just kind of, I guess I feel like that would make her like, after a few moments of like listening to me, she kind of breathes kind of a sigh of relief maybe, and just kind of like unloads on us, like more than we asked for, essentially. Just the dam breaks and all of the information comes flooding forth from her about.
My accomplice Maria died, and yeah.
And I make an, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it sounds like things are getting really crazy inside of Phoenix Bionics there. Do you have
You
an
have
exit
no
strategy?
idea. Phoenix is constantly on everyone's ass.
So I'll slip in a little bit like you're not gonna get in trouble from what we're doing here, but it sounds like Phoenix is pretty bad. Like, do you have an exit strategy? Like, do you know what you're gonna do when shit hits the fan with your company here? And I'm gonna roll a connection, make connection. My intention is to just get more people inside of Phoenix on our list of people that we can talk to. And I feel like this is an opportunity, given that we crack this wide open with that strong hit right off the bat. This is an opportunity to just let's make a connection here and see if we can develop something here. It's not like we're going around Stimmy. We're just also doing things in concert with Stimmy.
Like space scoundrels are gonna do what they do best, except for when they miss.
Right? So I freaked her out. I think I freaked her out. I think she's like, I don't want anything to do with you anymore beyond what we have to, I will give you this information. I don't ever want to see you again. And
Yeah,
I don't
she's
want
going
you knowing where I'm
super
going.
Lydia mode, like super Lydia hyper paranoia mode.
Yeah, everything, it just sucks everything in, stops immediately stops sharing with the outside world, and all that stuff is just in her own head trying to make this happen. Okay.
It's like, look, you just get what you need and get the hell out of my life.
So we so I failed to make that connection. We're back and forth about stuff, and then this kind of happens. So we kind of get down to the brass tacks, and we're basically like, we need, uh, we're looking for project files involving terraforming that are also involving the uh, uh, the core team, the core engineering team at Phoenix Bionics. Uh, we were told that this is specific enough to get to the right place to find the files we need, but we need to know where all that is kept. How can we access that? And I feel like Ezra would just kind of give us a little hand wave there, like we just don't know, like we're dumb for not knowing how to get, the 102874 form out of the database and requesting that information in an info dump. And so she just kind of starts rattling off the procedures for doing all of this stuff. And I kind of just stop her and I'm like, okay, So that's the procedure for getting this information if I'm inside the company already and I'm a member of the company. I need to get this information when I'm not a member of the company, though. And then she says, well, I mean, there's data cores for every team on the station, and you would just need to get access to the system room that data core is in. And if you're talking about core engineering, I mean, that's one of the most heavily protected ones. But there are maintenance teams that go in and out of that. And she kind of trails off a little bit, and she's like, that's not my job. Here's where you're going. And she sends us a little quick data download that's a little map that shows us where in the facility we need to go to get to the what did I call it? The data core. And then almost as quickly as she sends us the information, she says, it's your job to figure out how to get there. And then she just takes off. Because I apparently scared the shit out of her, and she does not want to deal with anyone else anymore. Damn it, Ezra Winter, you had a cool name. Why could you have not played along?
I mean, we could also just retcon her to Lydia.
Retcon her to Lydia. Okay, we seek out Lydia. Save Ezra. I'm going to leave a note in the session notes here. I'm going to say, save Ezra Winter for later.
For a cool connection.
Like a bounty hunter or something like that. That'd be cool, right?
Yeah.
Let me write some notes here real quick.
Lydia Rodar Quail. That was her name.
Rodar Quail?
Yeah.
Like Rodar?
Obviously, we should, we do our own thing, but Lydia.
Oh, I thought you were. Oh, that's the name of the character from the show. Okay, I thought you were making a Dan Quayle joke or something. I don't know.
No.
Am I old? Does that age me?
You just aged us both so horribly.
Right?
Well done.
I mean, if you were old enough to be making Dan Quayle jokes at some point in time in your life, you're pretty old at this point, right?
Yeah. Ezra Winters has to be like the Mike of Breaking Bad.
Mike Ehrmantraut? Dude, yeah, that Ezra Winter would be a good Mike Ehrmantraut name.
Yeah.
I am like close behind him, Lori. Sorry, I'm chatting with chat, but apparently Jimmy just turned 40.
Oh, happy birthday to Jimmy.
Maria dying. Kayla tries to make friends. Friends with Lydia. Freaks her out. Lydia gives us the location for the data. Leaves it to us to figure it out. Okay. All right, so Lydia takes off. So, we have met up with Lydia. She's the contact that had the information for us. She actually had the information for us. She gave it to us. Thanks to her relationship with Wraith, that's Timmy's call sign. Now, so I think we need to go back and talk to Stimmy and make a plan. Even with how rocky I left things with Stimmy there, I still think we need Stimmy involved with the plan because Stimmy might be able to give us more insight on how to do this.
Yeah.
If she doesn't, then I mean, obviously we're left making this up on our own and trying to figure our way through this. Maybe
Or
get
can source some suits,
oh,
maintenance suits.
I have an idea. We could talk to Yukon and tell him that in order to get the information from the Sagan Free Society on where their resources are that he wants, uh, we need to scratch someone's back in their group. And in order to do that, we need to liberate a little information, but we don't need to liberate the bad stuff. We just need someone to give us access, to a specific data core at a specific time, and then we can work out how to get in there and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But have someone just basically walk us in there and give us like 10 minutes alone where no one's going to show up, and we can do our thing to extract the data. Do you think we should talk to Stimmy about that first?
I was going to say, I don't think we even need to get Stimmy involved with that part of
it. So we just want to, should we just try to shortcut it and just be like, okay, so let's talk to Yukon and see if Yukon will help us. If Yukon will help us, let's just do it. And then we show back up on Stimmy's doorstep with the data, and we're heroes, right?
Yeah, and that would help forging that relationship more.
Yeah.
Making connection thing.
Agreed.
Or strengthening connection, whatever it's called.
Develop your relationship, Jason. Develop it.
Yeah, that thing you said.
Okay, so we are kind of getting close to what our normal cutoff would be, around 2-ish hours. Do we want to proceed with talking to Yukon real quick and see how far we get with that, or do we want to call it for the night and pick it up next session?
I think we can say that for next session. Okay. I think this is pretty good.
We got through a good chunk of stuff. We finally got information about where the data's at. This whole game we've been playing already, that's been the one goal, and we finally got it. So,
yeah, and I think this is a step in that direction. So, mark progress.
I think so too. Yeah, no, I think we jumped through hoops and got some significant information, and have at least the beginnings of a plan. So I think we mark progress. So we'll go through. Since we're going to wrap this up, we'll start with the end session move. So we're going to we'll start by first off, if we strengthen any ties to a connection, we develop our relationship. I think we already developed our relationship with Stimmy. So we don't need to do that again. We didn't really do much with Yukon we didn't do anything with Yukon this game. So he's the only other person aside from Remy who is a fixer that's not even in our sector right now. So, so I think we're good on the relationships. For the quests, I think we definitely
moving on. The help secure sensitive data from Firebird.
I think we actually made progress on both because we talked to Stimmy about what was going on with his request too, and so I think that kind of moves that forward a little bit.
For help Yukon.
Yeah, for helping Yukon. Okay. So I'm gonna advance the securing Firebird information, and then I'm gonna advance the help Yukon.
There you go.
So we are making progress on our quest. This is great. Okay, so we developed our relationship. We reached a milestone, or we don't have a relationship to develop. We reached milestones with our 2 quests. I think what we're going to give focus on for our next session, setting this all up right now, gives us some momentum. So I'm going to say our next session's focus is going to be meeting with Yukon, or talking to Yukon, and trying to convince him to help us steal data from his company. And so I think Stimmy basically told us that he was like just a conniving asshole, uh, in no uncertain terms. And so he sounds like, and from what we witnessed, he seems like the kind of person that you could potentially get to do stupid things if they think it's in their best interest. So we can probably talk. Kayla has a strong feeling that we could talk Yukon into helping us out.
That definitely won't bite us in the ass later.
Not at all. It will never. We will not miss any of those. Everything will be perfect. We'll get strong hits across the board.
That
We will
one
not have
miss
to.
though, holy crap!
The I that
That
was
was as worst as you can get.
and that was
Like
our
literally,
was that our first match? Have we gotten a
that was.
match?
I can't remember,
A match
but
in game for people that are watching is so you roll these you roll three dice. You roll a d6 and two d10. You take the d6's whatever the d6 comes up with. You add your stat to it and any additional bonuses you might have, and then you compare that number against each of the d10s. And if you beat the d10s, you have to beat them. So if the d10 rolls a 9, you have to get a 10 total to beat it. So if you beat both d10s, it's a strong hit. If you beat one of the d10s, it's a weak hit. And if you fail to beat both the d10s, it's a miss. Um, when both the d10s roll a match, so like when they both come up as 9 or 1 or whatever, uh, usually the move that you're doing has like a thing that happens for that, but at the very least, it means there is some kind of narrational change that happens. And so, on a very simple test early on, if you weren't watching earlier, we hit we got a miss with a match for tens. Oh man, I forgot that was tens
yeah,
too.
tens, and it was a one that was rolled. Like
We rolled a one and got a matched set of tens, and it was on a no, it was on a bullshit little roll that had like no real major consequences to the story. But now Stimmy, our fixer, thinks we're cheap assholes that expect that she'll pay the way for everything until we actually do something of value for her.
hence why we're not gonna go straight to her with this. We're not gonna try it.
So it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea if we can just if we could avoid dragging her into this any further, it would probably make her a little happier, right? All right. Yeah, that was just a one on a 210 match. That is crazy. Thank God it was on something that. Thank God it wasn't on a life or death roll. We would have.
Oh,
It would have been the end of one of our characters.
your character dies.
Time to roll another one. Okay. So that was the. I'm sorry. We got momentum. Did you get the? You got the momentum already? I did not. So I'm going to add my momentum. And that is the end session move. So I'm going to take some time here to go ahead and write out some notes. I think just touch on a couple more things here, real quick. First off, thank you, everyone, for joining us. This was very fun, and I'm looking forward to doing this again. I think as long as Jason is interested, I'm interested in keeping this going. So, our current plan is we're going to be doing this every week that we can. So, there's 1 week a month where there's some outside things we have to do. So, we're going to try to do this 3 weeks a month. Uh, you know, may miss some sessions, but whatnot. I'll try to put up kind of in a semi-official schedule. Next week is our off week. So you won't see us then, but we will be back on June 22nd. And we're aiming for starting at 8. Might be a little early, a little late start, but we're looking to get about 2 hours in each session. And we'll see how that goes. That might change over time, but just kind of a heads up as to where we're at. So, thank you all again for showing up. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Jason, for being my partner in this awesome role playing game here, and looking forward to our next sessions.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Have a good night, all. I have to get. I don't have an ending stream thing, so I'm just going to cut straight to my intro.
Bye,
So it's going to
chat.
stay starting soon, and then it's just going to go dark, and you're going to be really confused by it. And anyone who watches the VOD is going to be really confused by ending with the starting soon thing. Good night. I
There's a
love you
lot of
all.
streamers that do that. Like it
Are there?
just
Are
yeah.
there though? Most of them have a thing where it says good night though, at least. Although
But
I guess
then some,
Dan
yeah,
reruns his intro, so
it depends on how their OBS is set up.
I could. I actually rate someone. Let me see who's playing right now. Actually, that's a good point. Let me see who is playing, and then we shall raid someone. Because I'm pretty sure if Rigo's on, I can send people his way. All right, Chris. Not the Chris you know, Jason. I'm going to call this Chris Nips Chris. Uh, Joanna, thank you very much. We will absolutely accept suggestions. Feel free to send them my way. We'll absolutely. Oh, a suggestion for a raid? Yeah, yeah. Hit me up. If I misread that, I do have okay, Snack Pack G. Okay. Nice. Cool. Super sweet. All right. So here we go. And away we go.